Hello guys, it's Black Row back with another video. So today I want to show you guys what an unbreakable board looks like, and then we're going to show you the plot twist of the unbreakable board versus an INFERNOID deck. So first, with the recent bans to, well, Celestial right here, this is before, but the bans to basically Rongo and VFD, really OP cards. The cards that are left is simply Halaky Fiber Axe, which is broken into a Rodon, right? You could do some crazy combos. So I'm going to show you this crazy combo that puts 4 negates on the board and kind of locks your opponent out of the game. So of course we start with a pretty good hand. We start with the Adventure Engine, which allows us to kind of play our combo protected, right? So this is a standard combo. You get that on there, you get that on the board. Now we play the Yang Zing with the Tenyi so we can make Hulk. So in the beginning of play for Hulk, if you have 3 board, you want to pull the Jet Synchron. Because the reason why the Jet Synchron is good is because he comes off the board, so you can summon 3 tokens, and then you can call him back on the board. If I didn't have a full board, I could use Despot, but because I had a full board, I used the Jet Synchron. So now we have Mech Phantom Beast, which we make into the Denlong. So the Denlong is, like I said, the most broken card ever. And this allows you to make a 10 because you can send a card, you can draw a card, which is very important. So we draw the Yang Zing spell, or trap I should say, which is, so the reason why 9 Pillars is such a good card is it is not a effect on the board. So if someone tries to use Dark Ruler No More, or if they try to use the Forbidden, whatever it's called, I can't remember the name, and basically it allows you to negate those on the board, right? So that's why 9 Pillars is better than a monster negate. So you make Meriden Floor, so that's your first negate, and because he gets sent to graveyard, you can summon a card. So I use Sulani because I think it's a really good card if you want to do some really extensive combos. So you use this card, and then we get Jet Synchron back, right? And then now we make our level 4, or technically it's a level 3. So we make Cupid Pitch, right? So Cupid Pitch effect is you can increase or decrease the level, right? So I'm going to decrease the level in this case. So I decrease it to 3, so we make a 7, right? So then we make the Yazi of Yang Zing. This card is good because if you pop this card, it can call any warm monster from your deck. But then the other secondary effect of Cupid Pitch is it allows you to draw Nemesis Corridor. And with Nemesis Corridor, we can summon Colossus later, right? So you pop the Yazi, right? And then the other effect of popping the Yazi is actually you get the other Yang Zing back. So because I summoned the Yazi, right? So I was able to summon a Taya. And because the Yazi died, I got to get the Chiwin as well. So now I have something for my 9 Pillars. Obviously, it's a pretty weak card because it's 0/0, but it's another negate on the board. And then, of course, I got my Taya, right? So with the Taya, I could banish my Yazi. And we can go into our 3rd negate, technically, right? So this is the Borlo Savage. So with Borlo Savage, you can also send a card, but it didn't really matter what I sent anymore. But that's the only thing I didn't have in my graveyard. So then here I get another card back. So I pop that back into my deck. I use that to pop the Adventure back. So now this is basically the full board with Thunder Colossus. So if you look at my board, I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4 negates, right? So I have 4 negates, and then I have Thunder Dragon Colossus. So someone has to go through 4 negates. 3 of these negates destroy the card as well. Not only does it negate, but it destroys the card. And then this prevents you from adding cards to your hand, which is a very, very powerful card. It kind of stops people from doing much. Now let's see what our opponent does. And hint, this is actually a breakable board. So he first tries to pop me with Lightning Storm. So in this case, he used a spell, right? So because he was using a spell, using your first negate that doesn't break, like if you use a monster effect, it wouldn't destroy the monster, right? So you want to use this effect first. And this effect, you have 3 of them, right? So you always want to pop your Borlo Savage first most of the time, right? Of course, here he does this Forbidden Droplet, right? So because Forbidden Droplet, if he sends the monster cards, I can still negate with 9 pillars. But if he sends a trap, which a lot of people don't have traps in their hands, then obviously I couldn't negate it, right? But he sends a monster and a spell, so I just negate it with 9 pillars. So that's why 9 pillars is a good card. And now in this stage, like, I should most likely win the game, right? Well, he had Dark Ruler. Now, this almost never happens. If someone has both of these cards, then yeah, that sucks. But then that means they only have 2 cards to play with. At this point, he literally only has 2 cards left. So he Dark Rulers my whole board, which is very unfortunate. And then he has Grass is Greener. And this is where my opponent actually had the God Hand. And he was able to make more plays by sending hundreds of cards. And these INFERNOID monsters are kind of crazy, honestly. Like, a lot of these effects that they do is only like, it's not once per turn, they can do it multiple times. But I mean, I think this guy like banishes a bunch of cards from our extra deck, and I think I just banished like Destiny here because I wasn't going to use it anyways. And then he links it off to this fire guy, which he pulls another thing from my deck, which I guess could be Ash Blossom. And then he summons another card. So this card is the Infernoid, and this is when this is special summon, you can destroy all other monsters on the field once per turn during either player's turn. When a spell or trap is activated, you can contribute 1 monster. So this is, if you read this whole effect, it says banish 3 Infernoids, and there's no once per turn, so he can do this as many times as he wants a turn. So he just destroys my whole entire board that he negated. And he starts making the play. So an unbreakable board is breakable if they have a God Hand. But, you know, here's the hint, I actually win this game. But the question is, do you know how I win this game with 1 card? So of course he summons my card back, and he makes his own house. Like, this guy literally has everything. Like, I think whatever he sent to Graveyard was just amazing, because he could make plays for years. Now he made Equimax, and then he makes another monster. He makes the Topological Zeb card, and for every banished card he gets more attack. So his attack is huge. Right here, this guy bluffs me. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm dead." But then he played Dark Ruler no more earlier, so of course I don't die now. So now he has this whole entire board, and I have 1 card, 2. And let's see how I can try to win this game. So in this game, I try to bait his card because I think this card destroys everything on the field, and this card banishes everything on the field. So he basically has a lot of ways to stop my effect. So he negates this, which I expected, right? And I played a Suna. I actually made the mistake of putting here. It says, if another monster special summon to a zone is linked to it while this monster is on the field, banish all the cards on the field. I actually did this on accident, but I guess it was a bait, because he activates his effect and destroys everything on the field. And so now, after it takes, he wipes the whole field, and he didn't expect me to have this card. Of course, I still know that he has Fairy Tale Snow in his deck, and so he could have popped it at any time, which I'm kind of confused why he waited so long, because he could have negated my effects anywhere through my combo, but he decided not to for some reason. So then I went for a Shen because I hoped to banish his cards. He finally pops the Fairy Tale Snow, and then I win the game, because he literally had so many cards that he tried to combo all of them that he ran out of time to do all his combos. He had to look through his whole entire graveyard of like 30 cards and everything. So technically I still won this game with an unbreakable board, but he did technically break the board. So honestly, it's pretty hard to beat this combo, because one, you have to have both of those onboard negates on the board. Then you have to blow through the whole entire board, which this guy luckily was playing this deck, but it's very hard to do that. And after you do that, then the other player still has a turn afterwards. So in this case, he ran out of time and I won. So, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe down below. It helps my videos out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.